Length is a measurement of distance. The distance from one point in space to another point is called the distance between these 2 points. For example, the distance from one city to another is measured using units of length. You also use length to measure the size of objects. For example, the length of a box is measured using units of length. The length of a laptop is measured using units of length. Small distances or small objects are measured using small distance units, while large distances and large objects are measured using large distance units. For example, the size of your phone should be measured using a small unit because a phone is a small object, but the size of the Earth should be measured using a large unit. You can measure the size of the Earth using a small unit too, but the number would be too big and hard to use in calculations. To measure length, we need a system of units. There are 2 popular systems of units to measure distance. One system of units is used in the United States, and the other, the metric system, is used in other countries. Remember, in each system there is more than one unit to measure length. We are going to study only some of the units of length in this lesson. You will study the rest of them in higher grades. Some of the units we use in the United States are written here on the board behind me. We're just going to look at 3 of them for now. Inch, foot, and yard. Inch is the smallest unit of length. And in parentheses here, we have the abbreviations for these measurements of length. You'll see these abbreviations used a lot. So if you see IN, it means inch. FT means foot. And YD means yard. All of these units are related to one another. 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. Inches, feet, and yards are the plural of inch, foot, and yard. And so in these measurements for length that we have written on the board, the smallest one is the inch, and the biggest unit of measurement of length that we have here is the yard. You would use inch to measure the length of a pen or pencil, but you would use feet to measure the length of your backyard. To measure the length of a park, which is bigger than your backyard, you would use yard. You need to learn to pick the right unit to use. With practice, you will be able to do it easily. The other system of units is called the metric system. In the metric system, the base unit of length is called a meter. Meter can be written as meter or meter with an ER at the end or an RE at the end. In the United States, it is written as METER. In other countries, it is written as METRE. Both are correct. We are going to learn 3 of the units of length in the metric system. So let's look at these 3 today. The first is the millimeter, then the centimeter, and, as we already said, the basic unit of meter. And millimeter has an abbreviated word or abbreviated name for it, which you'll see more commonly used than writing out the whole word millimeter. You'll more commonly see the short name or the abbreviated version of MM. For centimeter, CM, and for meter, simply an M. Each of these are related to one another in the following way. 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters, and 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. Normally, you pick a unit to use based on the distance. To measure a really small distance, you would use millimeter. For example, you would use millimeter to measure the width of a hair or the width of a pin. To measure a slightly bigger distance, you would use centimeter. For example, to measure the length of a piece of paper or the height of your bike, you would use centimeter. For other distance, you would normally use meters.